Hello, welcome to the Systems of Equations review that will eventually end up with doing some geometry. All right, so this is mostly an algebra lesson. What is a system of equations? Well, this is a system of equations right here. We're doing this with two variables, so it's two equations, 1, 2, and it has two variables, x, y. And the thing about it is when you have two variables, you don't know what they are. You have to have two equations to solve for them. However many variables you have, that's how many equations you need in order to solve for your variables. So here's a system of equations. This is y equals 3x minus 4, and this one. Now these equations are written in slope-intercept form, aren't they? If you remember back to geometry or algebra, y equals mx plus b. Okay. You can see that this is our slope, this is our intercept. And so what does it mean to solve a system of equations? Well, there's three ways to solve a system of equations that we know about. We can graph, we can use substitution, we can use elimination. So let's start with graphing. So the first thing I'm going to do is graph this one right here. And so if you remember graphing, this is your y-intercept, so start there. Start at -4, put a dot. And then this is your slope, 3 over run, rise over run. Up 3 over 1. Up 3 over 1. Up 3 over 1. There it is. That is the first equation. Now the next one I will do in blue. Here's our next equation. We're going to start at +3, and we're going to go rise over run. That means down 1 over 2. So down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2, and you go this way until you make a nice straight line. And you can see that the two lines meet right there at the point 2, 2. This is x equals 2 and y equals 2. Okay, the point 2, 2, that's the point 2, 2 right there, 2, 2. X equals 2, y equals 2. All right, those are my answers. Okay, now we could also do this with substitution. Substitution. All right. Now in this case, 3x minus 4 equals y, and y equals -1/2 x plus 3. You could also do the transitive property. A equals b, b equals c, therefore a equals c. But here's kind of what we're doing. If I write down the first equation, what I can do is I can substitute in for the y, because the y is equal to this, but it's also equal to this. So anywhere there's a y, I can erase it, and I can plug in. That's y, right? That's what y is. Y is equal to that, so I substituted it in for that. That's called substitution. Okay? So I just substituted in for the value of y. I replaced the value of y with something that's equivalent to y. And now I just have to solve for x. So I'm going to do this maybe a little unconventionally, but typically I don't like fractions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply all of this by -2. To balance it, I'm going to multiply the other side by -2. Okay? So I'm going to distribute, which now makes that just x, right? -2 times, I have those cross out. -2 times 3 is -6. Distribute and distribute. Okay, do whatever you want. As long as you get the right answer, then you're fine. It doesn't matter what you do. This is substitution. Okay, so now we will add the 6 over, add the 6x over. You can see this is falling into place nicely. X is equal to 2. Magic. Now you go and you take your 2 and you plug it in, like up here or something if you want. What is, plug in x equals 2? 3 times 2 is 6, and 6 minus 4 is 2. Oh, so y equals 2. See? We did it again. It's magic. It's the same answer as this, but we did it using substitution. And then there's something called elimination. And elimination goes something like this. For elimination, I want to make it look like this: ax plus by equals c, and then dx plus ey equals f, I guess. Where I've got these lined up, I've got these lined up, and I've got those lined up. Anyway, if that's confusing, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take this 3x and move it over. So it's going to be negative 3x. Positive y equals negative 4. You can see I just took this 3x and moved it over by subtracting. Same thing I'm going to do here. I'm going to take my negative 1/2 x and move it over. Okay. So I've got these lined up now. I got my x's lined up, I got my y's lined up, and I got my constants on the other side of the equation. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to eliminate the y's. Look at this. They can eliminate by subtraction. I'm going to subtract the y's. What is y minus y? Nothing. Y minus y is nothing. That's called elimination. We eliminate one of the variables. What is negative 3 minus 1/2? Negative 3 minus 1/2. That would be negative 3 1/2. What is negative 4 minus 3? Negative 7. What is negative 7 divided by negative 3 1/2? You can do it like this in your calculator. It's 2. But really, you don't need your calculator for that. And then go plug it in. Go take your x, and you can go and plug it in anywhere you want. You can do it right there. You can go back up to there and do it. Wherever you want to do it, plug in your 2. 3 times 2 minus 4 is 2. You're going to get 2. And magically you get 2. So those are a couple ways to solve a systems of equations. All right, going on to number 2. Solve the systems of equation using the most straightforward method. Well, since on this problem, since I have y all alone by itself, then what I can do is I can take this y and plug it in for that y. Watch, negative 3x plus 7 times y equals negative 3. I'm going to take this whole thing and plug it in to where that y used to be. It used to be a 7y, now it's a 7 times 2x minus 2. All right, so substitution is really nice when you have one of the variables solved where you can just plug it in. You can just plug in to that y, whatever it equals. And then from there, it's basic algebra. I think the pen's running out. Okay, let's see. I'm going to put these together. That is 11x. I'm going to add this over here. So add that, that's 11, and it looks like x equals 1. And you divide it out. Okay, now we gotta go back and solve for our y. So I'm just gonna take my 1 and plug it in up there. So this is 2 times 1, which is 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. Oh, interesting, that's the answer. 1, 0. Is my answer to my question. And you should be able to plug it in. You should be able to plug it in and check it. Check it here. So what is negative 3 times 1 plus 7 times 0? That would be negative 3. See, it works. Yay. All right, next one. These are nicely lined up. And I'm going to proceed using elimination now. All right, everything's already lined up. I don't got to move anything around. However, nothing eliminates. But if I multiplied this by 2, then those would eliminate because this would be 14y. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this and I'm going to multiply it by 2, everything. So my system of equations turns into 5x plus 14y equals negative 10, and times 2 now, everything's multiplied by 2. Negative 16x plus 14y equals 32. I multiplied everything by 2 in this bottom one. And if you want, you could multiply it by negative 2, so that way you would get a negative 14, and then they would cross off by adding. I do now have to subtract these two together. 5 minus negative 16, that's 5 plus 16, 21x. Those cross off. 14 minus 14 is nothing, that's the whole point. Negative 10 minus 32 is negative 42. And we finish off by dividing. Negative 2. And now we have to plug our x in somewhere up here. And it doesn't really matter where. Just take any one of them. 5 times negative 2, I'm going to this top one, plus 14y equals negative 10. So that is negative 10 plus 14y equals negative 10. Add that, 14y equals 0. Oh, looks like y equals 0, apparently. All right, so I'm just plugging in. In both cases, y equals 0. All right. Next. Solve the system using elimination. It says you must move things around first to match up the variables. Okay, so these are not lined up. So we're doing elimination, they're not lined up. Goes something like this. We'll take this top equation and move the 2x over here. I'll keep my negative 9y, and I'll have my negative 18 by itself. So all I did here was move the 2x over. On the bottom one, I'm going to move my 3x over. I'm going to move my 8y over. 8y, and my negative 5 will stay. All right, there we are. And now we have to multiply by a certain number. I'm going to take this one and multiply it by 2. And I'm going to take this one and multiply it by 3. Why would I do that? Well, look, that makes this a 6x minus 27y equals negative 54. And it makes this down here a 6x. That's the whole point. Minus 16y equals negative 10. Now I will subtract them. And again, sometimes you add them. Just depends on what will eliminate. These now eliminate. Okay. I'm doing negative 27 minus negative 16. So that's negative 27 plus 16. Negative 27 plus 16. Negative 27 plus 16 is 11. I didn't need my calculator for that. Negative 11. And negative 54, which one I'm doing in my calculator. Negative 54 minus negative 10 is negative 44. That's going to work out very nicely. Y is equal to 4. Then you plug in and solve your x this time. You can plug in anywhere. You can take any equation. Just take this one because it's convenient. I don't know why I did that. Y was 4, so I'm plugging in for the 4. And we get negative 3x. 8 times 4, and negative 5. This cleans up to be 27. I'll subtract that over and divide. And x is equal to 9. 9. Negative 27 divided by negative 3 is 9. All right, let's do another one. This one is not lined up. We need to line it up first. So I'm just going to move I got a negative 4x. I'm going to move my 9y over, and I'll move my 7 over there. Come on. All right, so negative 4 stays, 9 moves over, 7 moves over. Okay, this one, my 3x will stay where it's at, my 2y gets moved over, and my 14 goes like that. Okay, how about elimination? What's eliminating? Ooh, yeah, not so much. So I'm gonna have to multiply. I'm gonna multiply this one by 3, and I'm gonna multiply this one by 4. Can you see why I would multiply that one by 3 and by 4? It's so that makes that negative 12x plus 27y equals 21. And then here I've got 12x plus 8y. I'm multiplying everything by 4. And what's 14 times 4? 56. Okay. And now I can eliminate the x's by adding this time. This time I will add, because negative 12 plus 12 is nothing. Okay, what is 27 plus 8? Why am I doing this in my calculator? 27 plus 8. 35. And what is 21 plus negative 56? And you add those together, you get negative 35, and so you can see y is equal to negative 1. Okay, now go find x. Plug in y. I'll just plug it in right here. Plugging in the y. Negative 4 if I did all my work right. All right, number 4. Obviously, not enough room here. We'll skip number 4, okay? We don't have enough room to do that on there. Let's go down to number 5. Solve for x and y. Okay, I need some equations in this picture, and they all have x's and y's in them. Bummer. Okay, so that means I'm going to use my vertical angles. This is one of many ways to do this problem. I'm going to use my vertical angles and set up an equation. 2x plus 2y equals 4x plus 10. And I need another equation, right? And it goes, these two angles are also the same. So 16y minus 2x equals 12y plus 30. Let's clean it up. This is my system. Sometimes you can put a little bracket around if you're working vertically. Okay, I'm going to move the 4x over. So that means subtract the 4x. Okay, that's all I did to the top equation. Just move the 4x over. On this one, I'm going to take this negative 2x and move it out to the front. I'm going to take my 12y and move it over. And I'm going to take this, oh wait, I can't do that. Sorry, hold on. Got like terms. Take the 12y and subtract it from the 16y, so that's plus 4y now. And now I've left over the 30. So everything just got moved. I basically moved that one over. And that was it. And we can see that the negative 2's will eliminate if I subtract them. Negative 2 minus negative 2 is nothing. Okay. What is 2 minus 4? What is 10 minus 30? see that y equals 10. Now go plug it in anywhere you want, and you will get your x. So let's just bring down this equation, sure. 2x plus 2 times y. So instead of writing y, I'm going to write 10, substitution itself, equals 4x plus 10. So all I did was I substituted this y right there for my 10. 2x plus 20 equals 4x plus 10. I'm going to take that over, I'm going to subtract, I'm going to subtract, subtract, and divide. And I got my answer, 510. All right. This one. This is theorem 10, I believe, from chapter 10, which says that these two across from each other will add up to 180. So we could say 7y minus 6 plus 13x minus 10 equals 180. And these two add up to 180. So 14x plus 9 plus 7y minus 11 equals 180. Okay, there's our system. We have to solve these together. We got to clean them up. So let's put our x's. We've got on the top equation, we have 13x. We have 7y. And this is all going to get moved over to the other side. So 180 minus 10 is 170. 170 plus 6 is 176. On the bottom, same thing. We're going to have our 14x, and we have a 7y. That's nice. That eliminates without having to multiply. And then we're going to take our 180. We're going to add 11, so that's 191. And we're going to subtract 9. That's 182. Okay, so just moving all this stuff over, and there we have it. Okay, I will choose to subtract, which will eliminate my y's. 7 minus 7 is nothing. 13 minus 14 is negative x, and 176 minus 82 is negative 6. Got that wrong. So therefore x equals 6 is one of the answers. And then I pick any equation to plug x equals 6 into. So for example, let's just bring down that top one. 7y minus 6 plus 13 times x. 13 times x, which I mean 13 times 6 now, because x is 6, plus 10 equals 180. So this is 7y. Let's just clean that side up right there. We got negative 6 plus 13 times 6 plus 10. So this is negative. So plus 82 equals 180. And subtract 180 minus 82. I'm getting nervous because I'm afraid it's not going to work out. Let's see. 98 divided by 7 is 14. It worked nicely. Yay. That's my answer. All right, next one. I'll just set this one up. But do you remember quadratics? Do you? Do you? These are the same. So these are equal. And these are the same, so these are equal. There's your system. There it is. I just can't resist, I have to finish. Okay, so we're going to move the x over, keep my 2y, and move the 8 over, subtract the 8. Same thing down below here, we have 3x can stay, 8 needs to move over, and the 12 needs to move over. There we have it. So I'm just doing my basic algebra, moving things around, and what I will do is multiply. I can multiply the top one by 3, or I can multiply by 4. Doesn't matter. Either one. You eliminate the y's or the x's. How about times 4? Let's try times 4. The way we solve for x first. So times 4, that makes my system negative 4x. I'm just distributing to all of this. Plus 8y equals 8. And then my bottom equation is 3x minus 8y equals negative 12. Okay, these cancel off. Well, actually, those don't cancel off. These cancel off with addition. This time I'm adding. We add because these cancel off with addition. So I'm adding and adding. X equals 4. And let's see, we can figure out what y equals. If I plug in 4 right here, 3 times 4 is 12. 12 plus 12 is 24. 8 times 3 is 24. It's 3. Just plugging in 4 there, we get 3. That was tough. All right, here is your homework. We'll go over these in class, but do one. And this one you can easily solve and do substitution. Like you could move the y over and you have x solved for. Number 3, x is solved for you, so you could easily do substitution here. Just plug it in to the x, and that would work. Number 5, do number 5. We have an easy elimination if you multiply it by 2. And if you do those, you can skip 2, 4, and 6. How about that? Turn over to the back side. Please do 7a. Please do 7b. Now 7b, remember these things? These two angles are the same. And these two angles add to 180. So keep that in mind as you're doing those. And you can skip C, and you can skip 8. All right, so just skip those. Hopefully you're watching the video and you'll have a lot less homework. All right, good luck. There's no homework help video. We'll go over them in class. Enjoy.